What's up? It's Tiffany. Before we get started on this week's episode, please be sure to send us your requests at booshakalakapodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter X, Booshakalakapod. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram at Booshakalakapodcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Booshakalaka Shakaboo podcast. I am your host, Tiffany, joined by my co-host, Pierre. Over here.
I'm trying to do. So don't have a monologue this episode, but I want to start this episode different. What new shows are you watching?
I have just started watching Grotesquerie.
Okay. How do you like it so far?
Two episodes in, and I have two theories.
Okay.
One, it was all a dream, or two, it was all real.
I hate you so much. Yeah, it's a lot going on.
You watched the show. Oh, you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a dream.
You think it's a dream? I hope that's so lame.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away. A lot of people haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil it right now.
I don't think he'll bait and switch us like that again after what he did with American Horror Story New York when it was all AIDS.
I didn't even finish that one.
That's who the killer was. The killer was a metaphor for the AIDS epidemic. Exactly. Exactly.
It took a lot of lives.
That's not okay. Yeah.
Right. Don't play in my face.
Exactly.
Bitch.
But I finished the Lyle and Eric Menendez story.
Pass.
I'm watching the Aaron Hernandez American Sports Story.
Pass.
Is that all? Oh, and Agatha All Along.
Huh? I don't know what that is.
It's a Marvel.
But the other two, I don't want to watch exaggerated stories that they know no truth. I mean, like based on a true story, and they're giving us like 20%, and then especially Ryan Murphy, I'm pretty sure it's 90%. Shazam, just all in your face, ass shots coming, dicks.
For someone who I didn't know about this case, I guess, because, it was
I mean, I've read about it, of course.
But when I did research it, I was like, well, most of this stuff is true. Like, the $700,000 they spent right after they did it and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, I mean, and then when you like read other art, like people did, I understand what he was saying when he was like, we tried to express other people's theories because like each episode is like a different point of view and what someone else felt happened. So I was like, well, that kind of like, I get his thought process. I just think he can be nicer when he gives comments, because him saying, oh, I had no interest in talking that, like, damn.
Yeah, I am a fan of fiction. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm a fan of fiction. I do not watch true crime, true podcasts. I don't like none of that.
No, the Aaron Hernandez one will make you. I do not like him. Like it doesn't make you like him as a person. Like I was like, I hate. I mean,
I agree, but CTE is no joke.
These
people have been getting busted up in their heads since they were like 8 years old, 10 years old when they started playing touch football.
I get it, but I know Hispanic guys like that who be like trying to act tough and they hang with the black kids, so they think. I know guys like that, so I'm just like, I see you, Aaron. I see what you're trying to do. Like, oh, I'm tough. It's just, ugh.
Well, just keep in mind, we'll never know the real story. 100% of it is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he did, so. And they in jail, so here we are.
But who's not dead is Charles Lee Ray.
Charles Lee. We are here to review 1988's Child's Play. The synopsis goes like this. A dying serial killer transfers his consciousness into a popular kids doll using voodoo. A struggling single mother gifts her six-year-old son the much sought-after doll for his birthday, and the doll slowly begins to show its true colors. So this came out, obviously I was a kid, but I remember seeing this in maybe 91? 91, 92? And it traumatized me. This movie traumatized me until Bride of Chucky came out. And when I tell you I'm not kidding, I'm not kidding. It scared the hell out of me. I slept in my mom's room for like 6 months. No. 6 months was The Exorcist. For this, I was just scared. My dad used to buy me a bunch of toys, and stuffed animals, so my room was like to the brim with all of those. And one day, my stupid ass brother comes in and he remembered the chant and he starts chanting it over my aunt, and I was,
Oh my God.
That's why I don't like him now.
So I have to say, this movie is great. Like, watching it in 2024, this was a good movie. Like,
it's still good.
That's the point I'm trying to make here. It was very, like, I was like, wait a minute, this happened? And wait a minute, I will say this conflicts completely with what we saw in Curse of Chucky. Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But it's very good. Like, even like, I'm like, how much money did they spend on like explosions and like, it was a lot going on. And I was just like,
there were,
very
usually
impressed.
when we watch movies, we sit and argue about why didn't they XYZ? They're making our characters stupid. And on this one, I think there was only 2 dumb decisions made the entire movie. Like, I was really surprised at much how I wasn't like screaming at the TV, like, don't go in there.
Now I was screaming. So spoiler alert, I rewatched it at work. So my
not screaming at your desk.
Exactly. So my coworkers heard me. I was like, no, because I'm watching Child's Play and they doing a lot. But most of the time,
are you in a cubicle or office?
Cubicle.
Oh Lord, you about to get the boot. They about to kick you up out of that office.
But our department's closed off because of my profession. So,
oh, that's true.
Yeah, but it was a lot going on. So I'm ready to start this review because I was very impressed.
PII.
For this to be one of Tiffany's favorites, it was incredible. And so wait, when did Freddy come out?
84.
So that makes me angry because this movie should have been as bad as Freddy, and it's not. But okay.
Freddy like had everything except for the thing that makes it the best. Like, it was like a Caesar salad with no Caesar dressing.
It was the ending. I'm telling you, they needed to stick the landing on the ending, and it was right here, and they didn't do it, and it pissed me off because this movie did it perfectly.
And this movie used a doll too, like Freddy did with that blow-up doll.
So we start the movie off with a Kiss reject running through the alley, and he's running from a detective. He's being chased. Now he's chasing him on foot. They both have guns, so it turns into a shootout. I didn't know that this. I understand police chase people, but I've never understood that when police are chasing one person and they just start unloading clips onto roads and streets and stuff. Like, I'm like, so what's the protocol if you hit somebody?
Pay the family, move on.
Okay, it was a lot going on. But there
I mean, this is a notorious serial killer, the Lakeshore Strangler. I think they said he had like 10 or 8 or 10 people that he had killed. I mean,
that's not a lot.
The detective. Okay, so I guess the detective was like, let's just get him out of here. Let's just, get him out of here.
I say it's not a lot because Freddy had 20 bodies before they killed him.
I got Strangler on Wabash and Van Buren.
Now this is where we get conflicting from Curse of Chucky, because remember, if you want to go back to the lore of Curse of Chucky to make it canon, he was running because he had held that lady in her attic and he was cutting her up and all that shit and stabbing her baby in the womb, and that's when he started running. He has literally an accomplice waiting for him in a van. So I'm like, what could he have been doing to where he would have somebody riding, like, had a getaway van? And that's what threw me, because we don't ever talk about Eddie again after this movie. And I'm like, Eddie
they mentioned him in the TV show.
Oh, they did. But my point is, in Curse of Chucky, they made it seem like he had this woman held captive for weeks and then he ran from that. But it's like, well, what would Eddie have been doing there?
Yeah, it changed his character, like,
into this obsessive. Because I like this Charles. Like, he was just all about the business. Ruthless. So they're shooting. And so Eddie hears the shots and he's like, oh, wait a minute. Now, mind you, Charles get popped right before he get to Eddie. So Eddie say, oh, hell no. Very much Tiffany.
Eddie was a jerk. Eddie was the worst. He was more worser. Yes, I said more worser than the getaway driver in Dead Heist. Like he's one thing goes wrong, out of here,
like
out of there. But he still ends up getting arrested anyway. So
that's I'm like, how did you get caught? Oh, well, the police.
So
the police.
Yes. So I thought the police officer was gonna stop Charles Lee Ray, but it just went on after Eddie in the car, and
I thought that
Charles
was
said
strange.
Charles says, "A toy store." Boom! Let me get in here.
He said, Eddie, don't leave me. Eddie, don't leave.
Eddie, please don't leave me. God damn it.
It's so funny seeing him as a human because it's like not much has changed when you became a doll, sir. Like he said, like his personality.
I mean,
is just,
he just had more jokes. That's all.
Yeah,
because he wasn't dying or fleeing from the police the whole time.
But he's still so I don't know. He's what do they call it? He's very man boyish. So he shoots out the store. He runs into it and he's just like stumbling around, and the detective goes in there and he's like
bumbling.
I understand this toy store is supposed to be big. Don't play with me.
That store
it is not like on the outside. In the inside, Tiffany.
Maybe
on the out, that down. Is a corner store.
It's like that toy store. What's that big toy store in New York City that they did Big and stuff in?
Is it Dungeon Toy?
I can't think of the name of it, but it has like two names to it, but it's like where they did Big, where they were like dancing on the piano keys on the ground. Like it was looking like that big. It's like they went into the store and had to go down a flight of stairs, and everything was down in the basement.
Narnia. They went to Narnia because I was like,
The Witch in the Wardrobe.
Now this store is a corner store. It's not that big. Don't do that,
baby. It was big, but you hear this, you son of a bitch! I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get Eddie, no matter what.
So Charles over there dying. And
I'm dying. He was actually telling us that he was dying.
And the detective is taking 48 years to find him.
He's being so cautious.
Like, I ain't getting shot.
Hello?
He ain't got a bulletproof vest on or nothing, Jesus.
Right? Like, what? I never understood why detectives go in when they're close. Okay, like I understand if they come to the crime scene after everything is done and they're investigating and they have on the three-piece suit. But when they're ready to like capture the killer, why the hell they got that three-piece suit on? I'm about to be in SWAT gear.
Mike Lowry don't. So
oh, he wearing a little purple silk shirt.
When he running, he be having that tank top on though. You notice that he always got an unbuttoned shirt with a tank top on. Get out my fucking face. And so Charles is like, I gotta find something.
No, he says I gotta find somebody. He wants to find another person, not something. He should have put his soul into like a little car.
Well, then he should have grabbed a drifter. I don't know what to tell him. But yeah, so he stumbles up into the good guy section of the store, which is clear because it's like they have a bunch of good guy dolls stacked inside in a fucking castle. And I'm just like, okay. Well, I mean, they're the hot topic, so it makes sense. So he opened up a box and he starts chanting. He on his deathbed. I've never heard this version of the chant before in my life.
What? Monsieur du Chaillot.
It was a lot going on.
It was a lot. It was a lot going on.
It was a longer version than we've ever seen before.
Because he never can finish it. He actually finished this one, remember? But think about it.
He finished it in Child's Play 2. Your favorite.
He did, and guess what? It took a long time. Yeah. Look, you're not gonna stump me on this is my series, okay?
Anyway, so he says his chant, baby, lightning, thunder, lightning, thunder. This toy store is so nice. They have an overhead view like it's a mall. So you can see the clouds. You can see the clouds and the thunder. Ooh. This also never happens. Well, I guess it kind of happened in Child's Play 2. But lightning strikes the store and completely blows it up. The detective gets blown out of the front windows of the store. I was like, it was a beautiful explosion. I was like, this is not in 1988. There's no way.
But guess what? He gets up, he looks over, he sees Charles Lee's dead body, and he's like, whoo, Case closed.
Like, no questions. Like, oh, lightning just struck the store.
I did it. Hey, I did it.
Mind you, you can hear him chanting in the damn store.
But I guess he just doesn't know what he's saying. Maybe he thought he was praying or something. It's the only thing I could think of. That's the only thing that makes sense. Yeah,
but that was an incredible effect. Like that.
It was. It was a really good opening. It was a really good opening. You know, you were supposed to believe that Andy was the killer.
Yeah.
But the promotional material tells you otherwise. Look at the background of this. Look, yeah, I'm supposed to believe that the kid did it. So we see Andy, our protagonist, watching a good guy show.
Is he a protagonist?
Yes, and he's making. We see the largest damn good guy doll we've ever seen in our life on the TV. I want that as a Halloween costume. I think that'd be great. Because everybody dresses up as Chucky and Tiffany. I want that life-size Chucky with the head with the mask. And in the Child's Play remake, they kind of paid homage to that. Did you watch the remake? The 2019.
I feel like we shouldn't have even disrespected Don by mentioning that.
Oh well, no, I'm just saying. Remember at the end they had the big costumes. That's all. That's all I was saying. Now, look, I ain't doing too much. So Andy makes his mother breakfast for his own birthday. Some burnt ass toast, some cereal, and
this is when I was screaming in the office. By the way, this pissed me off.
That's the toast was. Why was the set? Was the you
have questions.
Put the setting on the toaster, and the setting stays on the toaster.
So how did you burn it? It's not even the fact that you burnt. No, it is the fact that you burnt the toast because it was black. It's the fact that you put that big ass hunk of butter on the toast like that was supposed to do something. Add some damn flavor.
Look, your mom ain't got no money. Why are you wasting this? Why are you wasting this money?
Spread the butter. And then
I thought it was ice cream when I was younger.
He got like orange juice and got this good guy cereal. He's spilling it all over. Y'all, she got wood panel and he's spilling it all over the wood.
That is one thing I hate about movies and TV shows. They'll have a bowl of cereal with milk and a fucking glass of orange juice. Who does that? I don't need anything else to drink if I'm eating cereal with milk.
Remember when they used to, I don't watch commercials anymore, but remember when they used to do breakfast commercials, they would have that orange juice in there talking about a balanced breakfast.
That's what I'm saying. What is this? That's disgusting. Ew. Like,
and he's spilling it everywhere.
Yes, he looks over and he sees a box that is about the same dimensions. He's 6. How does he know dimensions? Same dimensions as the good guy doll box. And I'm like, yeah, his mom was definitely gaslighting the shit out of him.
That pissed me off, though. That wasn't cool.
Yeah, because baby, what was in that box?
Clothes. She's talking about, yeah. And then the clothes don't even fit. She's talking about, we got to take them in.
Like, where did she get these clothes from?
And I had just said, oh, she's a good mom. Because, she took one bite out of that toast, as a good mom would. And then she's like, you want to open you can open your presents? Yeah, I bet you did. So you can throw that shit in the trash. But for her to, she knew he wanted that doll into that big box for some overalls and some pants and some.
She could have put those in a gift bag. It was ridiculous.
That was
it was ridiculous. And so then she leaves. She goes to the perfume counter at Mervyn's to work her night shift. And we see her friend Maggie, and she's like, hey, girl, it's a man outside selling this doll. You want to come get it? It's a peddler, as they called it.
It happened so damn fast.
Yes, it was. It sped through. This movie was really... Mm-hmm. Let's go. So she gets out to the peddler, and he's got the good guy, and she's trying to haggle him, and he's like, do you want it or not? I'll give it to somebody else. Knowing she probably could have haggled a little more.
The regular good guy doll was $100. He wanted $50. Her friend Maggie was like 10. He said 30. I didn't think that was bad. I thought 30 was great. 30 was cool. So I wasn't even tripping. Maggie was not having it. She said, you don't even know if this damn thing works. Where you got this damn thing? Is it stolen? I was like, I miss back in the day when the nice character would have like the mean character sidekick, like Ethel and Lucy. Like, yeah. I was like,
Maggie looked like she'd be fighting them people.
Right.
On my day off.
Oh my God, that was funny. That was a cute little exchange.
Yeah.
And so she I guess she immediately goes and packages it up. We don't care that she gets in trouble for being gone for 5 fucking seconds. But she has to work that night. That's the main thing that happens. She has to work later that night on her son's birthday. And so Maggie has to babysit. But she has to be like, she has to be back by, she's leaving at 5, she has to be back by like 7. So she goes, she gives him the doll, and he's like, oh my God, I love it. I believed him a little bit. It just seemed like he was so pissed off that she only gave him like toys that went with the doll. And then he got the doll, and it was just like, I don't know. He just didn't seem that happy. But she go back to work, Maggie babysitting, and he over there clinking and clanking and clinking. Now he opened up because he opens up the box, and she like, let me know how it works, and he starts talking. Nobody reads the box. I would have been like, damn, it just worked like that. Like, yep. But she got to go to work, so she ain't got time to investigate.
Maggie said the perfume counter at Mervin's is waiting. What happened to Mervin's? Yeah, but Andy is playing with Chucky, and we see the Chuckster. Well, it's about to come on. The 9 o'clock news is about to come on.
But they give the preview, remember? Like they say, right. Oh, we're about to update you about... I don't
remember seeing a preview for the news.
Well, they tell you what's about to come on. And it's like, oh, you know, Eddie Caputo, he escaped...
Lakeshore Strangler.
He escaped from police custody. And I'm like, what city is this? Because how...
Chicago.
Oh, Jersey. But how...
Chicago.
Oh. I thought... See, that again, conflicting. Because they're supposed to be from Hackensack.
That's where he's from, but this is based in Chicago.
Just don't piss me off. But my thing is... It took y'all forever to find these people, and they just escaping like that. Because if that's the case, Charles should just let him catch him.
If him and Eddie was just able to, yes.
If him and Eddie was just going to jump ship, you know what I mean?
Instead of running, he should have told him, okay, I'm over here, I'm shot, I can't move, come and get me, and take me to the hospital. You're right. But Maggie tells Andy it's time to go night-night. Andy in there brushing his teeth. She cuts the TV off and goes back to cleaning up the kitchen, and then we get a jump scare when the TV pop back on. And that's when we hear about Eddie escaping police custody. And Maggie's like, Andy, how dare you? How dare you? And we see Andy is a bitch. She's a real bitch, and she got what she deserved. Andy was in there brushing his teeth. He's like, Maggie, I didn't do this. She was like, why did you put the doll in front of the TV? He's like, Maggie, look, I think it would have been so much funnier if he was taking a poop. And he would have been like, I'm pooping. Like, I didn't get up to turn the TV on. Why would I do that? But he wanted to watch the news, blah, blah, blah. So Eddie Caputo basically escaped from his bus transfer. So he was getting transferred to wherever.
How incompetent are these damn police?
I don't know. It's 1988 Chicago. So Maggie thinks, so I said that.
So she tucks him in.
Yeah,
she tucks him in. Yes. She's being... Maybe she just don't have kids. Maybe that's what it is. It just seems like she was very like forceful, and I'm like, damn girl, like, shit. Like, I mean, even if I understand, your mind wouldn't go to supernatural. This kid's telling the truth, but she was just being like, it's his birthday, and she just like, go to bed. I told you to go to bed. And talking about this, she's gonna talk like, oh, give Maggie a kiss, girl, fuck you. But she
like,
tucks him in.
You don't have no bedtime on your birthday,
right? But I mean, he got school the next day. So, so she tucks him in, and then she go in the kitchen and start eating up my food in my house that I guess she's allowed to eat.
I want some hog maw. I want some pig feet.
And while she up in there doing the Lord's work, she get all these taunts and teases from a mysterious figure in the shadows.
It lasted so long. Well, she thinks it's Andy playing with her. But I'm thinking to myself, has Andy ever done this to you? That's what I just kept saying to myself. Has Andy ever done this? No? Okay, well then I think you should believe him.
You say this with the friends and the friends playing the prank. Like, is this a prank? Tiffany, are you back there?
Right, this is a 6-year-old baby, and he's the sweetest pie. And you fucking played with him and got him clothes instead of a doll. Man, I don't know. But he playing with Karen. She hears something. She looks behind a plant. She sees nothing. She turns around and she just has a look of shock. And then we see this hammer bust her in the head, and she just flies out the window.
No,
I don't know how.
She unalived herself. Watching that again, there's no fucking way. She flew.
She did.
Tiffany.
Maybe he hit her. Maybe he hit her with the hammer and then pushed her.
No, he was on the middle of the aisle of the kitchen. He hit her with the hammer and she stumbled, but then she just kept going and going. Like the window is behind the table. So
that's why
she
you
had
don't
to
wear
push
heels in
the
the house.
table.
That's why you don't wear heels in the house.
Why
was she wearing her house? Why was she wearing her outside shoes and carrying house like that? Question number 8.
Like, there is no way she fell out this window like that. But even her falling out the window was magnificent. Like, it was this big long and then she slammed. Like, I was like, damn.
Like,
it was
whoever
so
car
gruesome.
that is, he is pissed. I know he came out like, man, it was probably the old people that we see later in the show.
I hate you. It don't look like Malcolm Brown car, but it just it was gruesome. Like, for the first death, well, shit, the second death, it was very gruesome, and I was just very pleased. I was like, this movie is really knocking me out.
Was this your first time seeing this?
No, I just hadn't seen it in a long time.
Oh, and I'm just like, okay, so you didn't rewatch this one that much. I get it.
No, so it's just like with the original Nightmare on Elm Street, like, you remember certain parts, but watching it over, I'm like, damn, this is a good movie.
Very true, very true. But Maggie is dead. And Karen gets home. She sees a bunch of police cars.
Is that her name?
Yeah, her name's Karen. And she runs through the worthless police officers that I've ever seen in my life. One is actually sitting on her couch with his feet up on her coffee table reading the newspaper. And then they just let her in. Nobody says, "Hey, ma'am, who are you? Can I see your ID?" Like she does the nurse on Grotesquerie. Think about it. It was all a dream.
Now I will say this: when she first pulled up, she was like, "I live here," so maybe that's why they let her in the building. But they let her in the apartment. There wasn't even tape. Now this is where they start to lose me, because after she comes in and she run all through this big ass apartment that she has on a mall salary.
The dad is dead, so I'm pretty sure whatever money life insurance, they probably paid for it. So she probably owns that.
Okay, it was a huge apartment. I just noticed she was just like Andy for a while, and I'm like, Andy, don't hear her.
Right.
So she finally make it to Andy's room after she walked past 100 police officers who don't help her, and he talked to the cop, and she's like, oh, what happened? So she didn't even know that Maggie's dead. So the detective is like, come with me, ma'am, and he's like, yo, Maggie's dead. She fell out the window.
Okay, let me just interject real quick. So Detective Norris just solved one of the biggest cases in Chicago, killed the Lakeshore Strangler, and they arrested Eddie Caputo, and he still had to work another case the next night. I'm going on vacation.
I thought that's what don't they do that? I feel like they take leave.
If you make a big break like that, I'm pretty sure you can take some days off. That's a lot.
Especially after he was shooting at you and then you got blown through a window. He don't have no injuries.
He also would be questioned by IAB at this point too. Oh, they need to know exactly. Somebody died. They need to know what happened. He would be the one questioning Eddie Caputo. There's no way he would be on this Chucky case. It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. But I just wanted to say that, like, I take a day off when my knee hurts. Like, come on, we got to do better. Like, okay, but that's all I wanted.
That's a damn shame.
That's all I wanted to tell you.
So he basically and so he gets very inquisitive about Andy because he's like, they see these footprints on the counter because Chucky knocked over some flour because he's mischievous and he's an asshole. He want how hard it is to get flour up, and so. He's like, Andy, what kind of shoes you got? Like, just questioning the boy and the mom. She's like, Andy, get your ass. Andy, get your ass in the room. Andy, get your ass in the room. We talking. So she's trying to, cover for him, but they, cops just be.
But it doesn't make sense because Andy was there when it happened. I would want him to say what happened, even if he was saying. But at that point, he wasn't saying that Chucky did it. He was just like, "What do you want to know?" Like, yeah. He looks at the shoes, but I'm like, this baby's shoes are not the same size as his doll's feet.
Right.
Sorry.
And it's like, you didn't even, the doll was in his face the whole time. I'm like, you ain't see the prints. But this is what's unrealistic to me. Someone died in their home. No yellow tape. No, this is the crime scene. We'll have you stay at a hotel. They literally sleep in that same apartment that night. That's unrealistic to me. Maybe it's okay. Or let me know if that's something new where they're like, oh, because I just never, I feel like it
Well, you
happened.
gotta think there's no blood spill in the house. That's all out. Everything is outside. So it might be a different situation like that. But I'm like, did they board up the window? Because it's winter.
Hello. So
It's
no, did they
cold.
board
She
up
did
the
not.
window? Because when they went over there, I feel like they. Because I'm just like that's. I don't know.
I don't think we
But
revisit
even
the window.
not even protocol. If your best friend died in your apartment, I just feel like you would want to stay there that night, at the
Yeah,
very
no, I
least.
wouldn't. I wouldn't want to stay there.
At the
And then,
even for the sake of your
yeah,
little child, like
yeah, that like also like goes back to the story. If you have a young child and your husband dies, and like say you're living in a city that you're not from, I would leave. I would definitely sell that apartment and get up out of there. You know, you need a support system.
well,
But
she had
anywho,
Maggie.
they done kicked.
She had
They
Maggie.
kicked it. No, she don't. They kicked Andy back to his room, and he's sitting on his bed, and he looks over at Chucky on the rocking chair, and he sees Chucky's feet are covered in flour, and he goes up, and he's like, "Detective Mom, I know who did it. It was Chucky." You know, you take a hit to catch a little breath, and he was so out of breath, and they were like, the mom's like, "Andy, get out of here." The Detective Norris was like, "Nah, could that's a dog. Get out of here. Like, I'm not gonna deal with it." And Karen kicks his ass out before he just kicks them out. Like,
like
I don't even know if
slams
they were
the
done with
door
their
on.
investigation.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't even know if
like,
they were done. But he tells
well,
her that
remember
he
he told him
hates
to get
loose
out earlier.
ends.
Remember he told him to get out
Oh,
earlier.
well, he told her
Well, the
that he hates
police.
loose ends. And he also, we see that he has the hammer. And he gives it to his detective buddy. I think his name was Jack. He gives it to Jack, and he tells him, we need to do, I guess, fingerprints, because I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
DNA was out at that point. I am not sure.
Yeah,
But
he's like possible
we
murder
go back
weapon
into
though.
the right. So Karen is over by Andy's door, and she hears him talking, and she puts her ear up to the door, and like Andy's saying things, but there's nobody responding to him. So she goes in. She's like, "Who are you talking to?" This scene was kind of eerie.
Mm-hmm.
So Andy is sitting on the floor in front of Chucky, who's in the rocking chair, and he's just talking to him. It's like him looking down on him, like a grandpa talking to a kid. It was just kind of scary.
Yeah, like he was in a trance almost. I was like, what?
Yeah, but Andy tells Karen that the doll said its real name is Charles Lee Ray, and he's been sent down from heaven, from Daddy to play with him. And the mom's like, "Oh, okay, I can understand my child making something like that up. That makes sense." And he also tells her that Chucky said that Aunt Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved. And then the mom goes crazy. I'm like, this is my. Has Andy ever talked like this? The answer is gonna be no. I would believe him. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want us to do? Do you want to get rid of the doll? We can do that. And guess what? I'm gonna throw him out the fucking window like he threw Maggie. Like, I don't understand why. If it's something as minuscule as that, like, your child says, "There's something in my closet." Guess what? I'm gonna go check their closet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to secure them, because people wouldn't have done it for me. So I'm going to do it if I ever have any children. There's something under the bed. I'm going to look under, we're going to look under the bed together. And we'll be like, "Oh, see, there's nothing there." And then if we want to get real down and dirty, we're just going to take the fucking bed apart, and we're going to put the mattress on the floor. Because guess what? There ain't nothing under the bed now. There's things you can do to, ensure your kids that they're safe, even if it's just in their mind. But like I said, this baby has never said anything like that before. He's probably never even heard that word. But I don't know.
He
For
said
some
it like
reason,
a G though.
she's like, okay, I guess he turned 6. I guess it's time for him to join a gang or something. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Or maybe I guess she thought he heard it at school, which is where he does not go to the next day.
Andy is so gangster for this shit.
How did this happen? And nobody
Baby.
said anything.
Well, so that makes me wonder, and I have a controversial question. Mm-hmm. Do white people have community? I just feel like if this was a little Negro child and he was walking by himself in a big city, somebody would say something. Somebody would call somebody. Like, it just...
No, I think the opposite.
Really?
In the 80s?
I feel like that was the time when your neighbor could whip you. I'm talking about black people. Your neighbor could whip you. Yeah.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like, think about it.
I think it's like Japan, where their kids around his age, the kids around his age will take like the subway and travel to and from school by themselves.
Oh.
But that's not like that here anywhere. Unless it's like a really small town, or like I said, when I lived on a military base as a kid. Yeah, You know, I traveled. I was all around that thing.
Cause baby, he don't go. He walk out of school. He take every fucking I was like, I don't even know where.
The middle of downtown Chicago, and it's snowing, and it's so cold.
Because Chucky told him to. Did Chucky have fare, or is everything free? I don't know how public transportation works in Chicago. Like
I don't know how it worked in 1988. I've never been to Chicago. I don't know, but Chucky said he on a mission, baby.
Literally.
Let's go find Eddie Caputo. I ain't playing.
And knew exactly where he was. So they end up in this.
But really, honestly, when you think about this whole scenario, the first person he needed to find was the voodoo man.
Yeah.
He could have got to Eddie a little later. Mm-hmm. He really needed to find the voodoo man first. But
he probably in his mind he needed to find it. No, I think the reason
he gets in his way too much.
Yes, I think the reason he didn't is because he just assumed, oh, everything worked how it was supposed to work. I'm invincible. Remember, like,
but no, he never knew how to get out.
Yeah, but I don't think that was his main goal. I think he was just like, oh, I'm invincible. I can do what I want. Like, I think he was in his own way.
When I'm tired, I'll go to him and
see if he can get. Because he only went once he got hurt in your favorite scene. But they get up to this snow junkyard. Because Andy, he's such a kid. He like,
Chucky, I gotta go do it.
Chucky, I gotta go tinkle. So wait right here. And he just, I'll be right there, Chuck, just pissing. And I'm just like,
and he put Chucky in that rocket chair, and then you heard. I
hate you so much. So Eddie Caputo is apparently in some abandoned house. I'm assuming it's abandoned because
dilapidated, baby, dilapidated.
But so he's.
Oh my god. I ain't even gonna tell the story. Let's just move on.
He finds Eddie there, so he started doing the same thing he did with Maggie, taunting, teasing, creepy footsteps. So Eddie, being the rational man that he is, do it again. Being the rational man that he is, he just starts shooting up the house. Like
Eddie,
these are
just
real
escape,
killers,
honey. Just escape.
These are real killers. Because the first thing in my mind was, even though this is sort of an abandoned area, you don't think nobody heard them gunshots? Well, then again, they may not even care. They may be like, oh, parts of the course. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so he starts shooting up his damn house. And he even see Andy out there looking for Chucky. This was hilarious to me because he just, even though he's 6, he sounded like a grown ass man. Like, Chucky, where you at? Chucky, like he was just
Chucky,
and he really walking around like exhausted, like, Chucky, where are you, man? I'm trying to go. So Chucky unhooks the gas because there's a gas stove. Of course, there's a gas stove in here. It's the 80s, and Eddie turned the corner and he opens the door and just shoots, and boom. Now I immediately thought, is Andy far enough away? Because remember, he was right there by the house when Eddie saw him. And then he turned around and shot, and then everything went boom. And I'm like, is he far enough away from his house?
Right. Good question. He was.
Clearly. But Eddie's dead as a doornail. He is exploded up. He don't even get no explanation. He don't even know why.
Out of here. Yeah. Quick. And this is, at this time, when we open up the next scene, we see that Andy is discovered by the police, so he's at the police station. I always wondered why Chucky was still with Andy at this time. Mm-hmm. Like, why was he still with him? I guess because he knows that Detective Mike Norris is on his case, Maggie's case. Maybe that's why he's still with them. But I would have just dipped from the kid at this point. Like, you got me to the train station, or like he just.
Well, how do you get back?
See him.
I guess maybe that.
Okay, I got something to talk about a little later.
Well, no, you're right, because I feel like in other. Well, I mean, yeah, he did this later on. He did everything by himself later on. He just dropped.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Became Toy Story. So
all he needed to do was put on a hat, and they probably think he was a real kid walking around.
Touche.
And they just didn't need to see his face. But Andy is back at the police station. Karen comes in, and she's called over by the police, and Andy basically is the suspect. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, it's weird that they're in there questioning him without his mother there. That was very weird. That was very weird. Because I'm like, how did they even get Andy? Like, how did they get him? Because if I was Chucky,
I guess when the house blew up, somebody came outside and saw that there was a kid and
But
called
if
the
I was
police.
Chucky, I'd have been like, let's hop this train. You know what I mean? Like,
Get back on the L and let's go to the school so they don't know you missing.
yeah, that I mean, if you wanted to be secretive about it, but I don't know, Chucky, you know,
Look, we
come
don't know how that thing think, but he's being questioned by the police, and he's being questioned about Maggie's death, and he keeps saying, "Bitch, I told you it was Chucky." Like, I don't know why you keep asking me this. I told you. And it's like, it's obvious he's being coerced by somebody to do these things. Like, why would that baby, how would he know where to go on that train? How would that baby know how to do that?
And
Yeah,
why would he target a random man that he does not know? That should have been the, like, how does he know Eddie Caputo? Come on now. How does he know that man?
Right. It didn't like, we just automatically found out that was his father and you know, Karen was cheating with him.
Yeah,
None of that happened. Yeah, it was just really
left a
weird.
bad taste in my mouth because you're not questioning my child while I'm there. I don't care if it's the 80s. I know that's illegal. So that's just that threw me off completely. And then they, they do it in such a perverted way, like, oh, really? Tell me more. Like, don't do that. And then you got the psychologist there talking about, I've seen enough. There's a facility.
Well, Andy talks to Chucky and he's like, Chucky, go on, Chucky, talk. Tell him what you did. Tell him about Maggie. Tell him about us riding the train. Tell him. Chucky, say something. Chucky, say something. Stop. And then Andy says, and punches him in the gut. Stop. And Dr. Ardmore, hello, this is Dr. Ardmore from the psychiatric hospital. I've seen enough, Mrs. Barkley. Andy will be coming with us tonight. Good day.
I was just like, oh, you just take my son? Like,
no, the person that they would be taking, I would just be like, keep the doll at the police station. Mm-hmm. Keep the doll. Like, just don't bring the doll back. Like, let's get rid of it together and not throw it away. Let's pull it apart. Let's go beat it down like it's the damn printer on Office Space. Let's do what we gotta do. Like, I don't know. Like, just take the doll away from the equation, and if it pops up again, we know that it's real.
Yeah, I thought that was extreme. I'm like, they just take her child for maybe we don't even know how long was he supposed to even stay there because he was gone for a while. Like he
never used to do like a 48-hour, 72-hour hold.
I was like, damn. So, like, she couldn't say nothing. Like, it was just like, it's a done deal. I just did again. Maybe this was the 80s. Maybe this was just perfectly. I just don't see them doing that today.
Yeah, it was. Excuse me. It was weird that he was able to do that like that.
Yeah, Mrs. Barkley, she gone home. I did not know her name was Karen. She gone home and she took Chucky home. And so she trying to like, she's like, talk to me. She wants to believe her son. And Chucky like, hi, I'm, Chucky, want to play? She laugh it off. She goes and she's like, let me get drunk. But then she sees the box over there. And mind you, she let Chucky on
for a best friend.
Right. She let Chucky on the couch. And so she gets the box. I don't know why she's even going. Like, I didn't understand this because I would have threw this box away days ago. But she
I would have folded it in half, put it in a recycler.
She lifts it up, and the batteries fall out. And that's when she like, I know I done heard this bitch talk all day.
Maybe that part was scurry.
Yeah. And I'm glad she finally it's right there on the box, batteries included. I was so pissed. So she walk over there and she looks at it and she sees there are no batteries in the doll. He turned around and say, "Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play?"
He hit her with the.
I said,
with the Exorcist.
I said, in the office. Because I don't remember that part. I remember what it's leading up to, but that specific, I don't remember that shit.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember that. He said, "Hi, I'm Chucky." Like, it wasn't the cute little voice. It was a little scary.
Like, sir, please.
He ends up rolling up under the couch when she tossed his ass. So she picks him up under the couch and she's like, "Talk to me. Talk to me, damn it."
Here it goes.
All right, I'll make you talk.
Here it
goes.
She
lights her fireplace and she lifts him up. She says, "Talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire. You stupid bitch, you filthy slut. I teach you to fuck with me." Did you see the Spanish version? I posted it on my Instagram not too long ago. Oh my
God. No, I've seen the you motherfucking whore. You put your motherfucking hands on me.
No, I'm gonna send it to you and you will add it in with our snippets because baby, when I tell you I cried. It was like Chucky was playing on Spanish TV and they were doing voiceovers for him. He sounded like somebody grandpa. It is hilarious. Like, I'm not kidding. I need you to listen. Oh, you stupid bitch, you filthy slut. I'm like, how do you know what she be doing? But baby, Chucky bites the hell out of her and
like he's whipping her ass
actually.
Because I was like, is he floating? Like it just like there was a point where he was just like dangling in the air, and I was like, how is he doing all this?
Well, I guess he was holding onto her shirt or something like that.
But yeah, he bite the fuck out of her. Like, I mean, I was wondering how much do plastic teeth hurt?
To the white meat, but you got to keep in mind he doesn't know, but he's actually turning human. So his teeth are turning into, what are teeth made from again?
Bone.
Oh.
It's a bone, right? I thought it was a bone. It's a bone. Don't do this. Where's my?
Okay, we'll go with it.
It has to be a bone. There's no other option.
Is it keratin or is that's nails? Child, I don't know. I'm sleepy. So Chucky rides the elevator real fast. He's so lucky that was already on their flow. He rides the elevator and Karen tries to catch up with him, but she's not able to catch him, and Chucky gets away. She can't find him. So she grabs all of her belongings. She goes to the police station to talk to Detective Norris, and she's telling him his real name. Andy said his name was Charles Lee Ray. Doll killed Eddie Caputo. I don't know why Detective Norris doesn't put 2 and 2 together already.
Because he's an asshole. Because like
did you not see the doll?
And she's not like, I mean, she's a little huff and puffs because she just ran and it's cold. But she was just very much so like, Andy's telling the truth. Andy's telling the truth. The doll's alive.
And there's also another moment where I'm like, what? We're going to get to it. And you're going to be like, damn, that is kind of dumb. But so I already said my first one. Here comes my second one. Yeah, like she's trying to tell him, and it's like, okay, you and I know that our dolls can't come to life.
But, do I know that?
No, but we have seen enough horror movies to know there might be a chance. Mm-hmm. So if you tell me something, I'm going to say, what can we do? Let's take the doll out before it even gets any worse. What can we do? You want to put him in a shredder? You want to say, do your thing, cuz. What do you want to do to get them out?
Now, hold on. I'm gonna throw one wrench into what you just said. One wrench.
Okay.
You want a good guy doll. The doll is $4.99. If I get you a $49.99 doll and you fucking destroy it because I'm Tiffany. This good guy doll was $100. The real good guy dolls are $500. You're not just destroying that damn doll. Lock it up or something.
Let the fun. I got rid of my Teddy Ruxpin because I thought he was about to come to life. So
see,
been there. So anyway, Karen tells him, all right, you know what? Look, I'm gonna go find the peddler that I got the doll from to see if I can get some more information. He's like, you don't need to go down on that side of town, can't Mrs. Barkley? Mrs. Barkley, don't go down on that side of town. But he doesn't like really stop her. She hops into a cab and she makes it back over to her job. Like that side of town, that's her job area.
Mind you, she didn't need to be there just as a woman that late. Because of course, here comes the scene that has to happen in every fucking movie.
I couldn't believe it.
I was like, and there goes the scene.
You are so right.
Yeah, and that, like when they say they have to reject it from scripts now, I'm like, damn. But anyway, she goes and talks to the peddler, the drifter, and she finally finds him after going through 67 hobos. I'm sorry, and she's like, hey, that doll that you gave me, where'd you get it? And he's like, what are you gonna give me for? Like, I get it. They're unhoused, so whatever money I can get, I'm gonna try to get it. So she only got a couple dollars. He like, that ain't enough. And she's like, that's all I got. And here you go. Oh, that ain't all you got. And spoiler warning, trigger warning, almost rape scene. And I'm just like,
I'm a man.
And it pissed me off, which I know this does not matter. I recognize as a man that this does not matter. It's just the fact that there were other people there. Like it's not like they're in a desolate area. There are like unhoused people everywhere. Like it's packed and they just about to stand. They're standing. They're standing like 2 feet away from them and they're about to watch this man just rape this woman. I just,
You know how many layers of clothes he would have had to take off?
it's cold. I just did again. I don't understand. I guess I try to, maybe it's the 80s and they're trying to, I don't know, trying to depict these people, or I don't know, but it just didn't seem cool. I didn't like that. But the detective shows up at the nick of time and he kicks him in the nuts and we get that gratification, like, yay, he saved her. I really wish she would have done it, because bitch, don't piss me off.
Right. He should have held him in a full Nelson and said, kick him in a ding ding.
Right. Or she, held him and then she just did it just because. So,
yeah. Kick him in a ding ding.
So, stop he's a cool detective because he shoot and everybody scatter and he like, all right, you gonna tell me or I'm gonna kill your ass. I'm like, oh, so that's why your ass need to be under investigation right now, because you just be popping people. And he's just like, he got it from a burned down toy store, and so the detective is shocked because he's like, oh, not that toy store. Ballpark Franks. Ballpark Franks, they plump.
Ball Bash and Van Buren. I messed it up. I'm so crazy. I went and looked up at that to see where that was in Chicago.
I hate you. Was it a real street?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was real. Yeah. Wabash and Van Buren.
Sherman Oaks, Illinois is not real. So
Sherman Oaks, California is.
I want you to burn. So so the detective, he got all freaked out and she like, wait a minute, what did he say about that triggered you? And he's like, oh, well, that's where I killed Charles. This part pisses me off because she just told you this man's name and all this stuff and it don't click in your head. That's where I killed this man. And that's where they found it's like he just was trying to be obstinate. I'm like,
if 1 + 1 is 2.
Because I mean, it's like, how many coincidences? And then that doll happens to be with the kid who goes and Caputo. Like, it just, it just didn't. It was too many. It was like right in his face. And I'm like, you're a detective. You're a detective.
He's the person that we hate the most. He's the person that pisses us off the most in the movie. He does a couple of times. But yeah, like the Lakeshore Strangler, he's out of here. And then Mike takes Karen home and okay. So I started to write in my notes. So Mike takes Karen home and my mind jumped ahead to Chucky being in the car. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking to myself, did Chucky run out of the apartment and just go hide in a bush till they got back so he could jump in the car while they were arguing? Or did he go to the police station?
Maybe he went to...
What do we think?
The reason I say the police station is because he only had one more person to kill. If we're just following his path of revenge, what did he say in the store? I'm coming to kill you and Eddie. That's the only two people he said he had any issues with. Maggie just pissed him off. Right. Collateral damage. So I would think he just went to the police station because, like you said, he knows. I'm like,
did he hide in a bush?
Yeah, so maybe he was just there and then he got up in there. Like when he let her out, I don't know how quickly I don't know.
Well, no, so he lets her out. So he kicks Karen out while they're arguing, and Karen's like, "Don't you get it? The doll is alive. I just told you he bit me. Why are you playing games?" And he's like, Miss Barkley, you need some rest. Your friend died. Blah blah blah. Get out of here. And
she's like, she said,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, no, we already talked about it. She just says, "Is there anything Charles E. Ray said before he died?" And he's like, "Yeah, he'll kill me and Eddie Capote." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, well, sir, so, one down."
This is the part that had me screaming at the
this.
TV.
Don't scare me.
So he goes to the office and he looks at Charles E. Ray's file and he finds out these things he didn't know. If you're a detective trying to catch a serial killer, you're going to read that file from front to back. You're going to know.
You should know it. You wouldn't even need to read it.
Oh, I didn't know he went by Chucky. I didn't know he hung out with a guy named John. Like,
because think about it, Tiffany. When you're watching a detective TV series, they know, and they're chasing the killer. They know. They're like, I know this killer like the back of my hand. Even with movies,
the unsub on the whiteboard.
I love when you say that. So it's just like they have to know these people because they have to know how they think. Think about when we watched Trap. How she knew how the killer thought, how he, like, what he was going to do next. Like, that's how these detectives get in their heads. That's why they're detectives. So the fact that you knew nothing about this man, but his name was Charles Lee, you thought he just was like Charles?
Thought that was Charles, your dinner ready? Like, That just annoyed. That was one of the things that annoyed me about him the most. Like, come on, this part is unbelievable.
That's
So
not, yeah.
I didn't. That was yeah. So that was ridiculous. So he leaves the police station with the file, and he's driving, and he's getting ready to smoke and joke in his car, and baby, some jumper cables come over his neck and pull him. Good night, asshole.
That was hilarious. Chucky was so funny in this movie. But my thing is, so as I'm watching this, mind you, I'm at work. And I'm just like, wait a minute. This car chase is going on a little too long for me. Because I'm just hearing like wreckage and rampage. And I'm like, he didn't think to just stop the car and jump out?
Well, he tried to stop. Chucky he stabbed him in the foot and then pushed to go. He pushed the gas pedal.
Maybe that's what I missed. Because I was like, why didn't you just stop the
car?
car?
Yeah. So
I saw him stabbing. Now, he was stabbing. Now, that was some bullshit. He was stabbing through the seat. He was leaning up.
But the distance between the chair and that knife is so short. And that kitchen knife was so big.
I was like, there's that. Now that is scary because it's like, what do you do? He was lifting it. I was like, this shit's hilarious.
The best thing, I mean, jump out the window? Like, what can
I don't know.
do?
Like, I don't know what you do in that situation, but we see what he does do, which is correct his damn car. Baby, that car tumble, fumble, and grumble. Again, this detective's gonna be having no scratches on him. And I'm like,
good night, asshole.
How did you notice that? Like, he done been into 2 major accidents and not a single scratch is on this man. I'm like,
did you notice that his stunt double that was driving the car looked like Earl from the Goodbye Earl video by the Dixie Chicks? The wig was so bad. The wig was so bad. It was so bad. Anyway, like you said, he crashes the car, he flips over, and the detective is okay, got a little bump on the noggin.
And he manages to get out very quickly. In other movies, people don't be getting out the cars.
He never gets out the car.
No, so I'm talking about, he's like, at the bottom. Like, he's not in his seatbelt. Most of the time they get stuck in their seatbelts.
Hell, I don't think it was ever tied. I mean, I don't think it was ever fastened. So Chucky starts taunting him again. He's like, hey, am I gay?
That was hilarious, too.
like he keeps speaking around the door.
Calling him Mikey.
Like they were friends. Like, that's what I'm saying. He couldn't have been somebody that chased after this serial killer because they're making it seem like they had a run-in a couple of times before and like he just slipped through his fingers. Like he just got away from him. But whatever. So Chucky's taunting him and then he's like, you can't hurt me. No matter what, you can't hurt me. And Norris is shooting. And instead of a sneak attack, he does what he always does, which is coming straight forward with the and guess what? He gets shot. Pow! And they blow him into the trash. Like he gets poof. I mean, he's like a 15-pound doll, 20-pound doll, whatever. It's that bullet is gonna take him back. And then we see him just run away, and Mike is like, phew. I'm like, phew. I'm going to the sanctuary. Like, I'm going to go. I need to see Jesus or somebody. Like,
I'm going to the sanctuary.
It was a lot for me. Yeah. And then Karen is back on her detective stuff. The detective Karen-ish. She goes to this part is crazy. So she goes to Charles Lee Ray's house where there are murals of him worshiping Damballa, and he's drawn on the wall. Did you see how big the penises were on the drawings?
No.
They were huge. They were halfway to the knee.
That wasn't my main focus. But
they were huge. Like, it just shows you that you notice things that you didn't notice before. I never noticed that.
Because why did they put that in the? Well, we know why they put it in the movie.
They were huge. They were huge, and I just.
You're gonna be so mad at me. You're gonna be so mad at me, because. In my memory, I thought that John was played by Tony.
Oh, Tony Todd?
In my memory, I just remember a black guy who I was just like, Tony Todd is in this movie. And then I was like, oh, my bad.
Don't all look alike.
My bad.
The detective shows up and he's like, hey, I believe you. I went and pulled Ray's files. Can you believe this? He went by Chucky. And he hung out with this guy, John Bishop. Can you believe it? And I was like, shoot yourself in the toe. Right. And then we skip over to Chucky showing up at John's house. And he comes in and he's like, hey, John.
He be pissing me off. Here. He really be pissing me off with this.
The green work, didn't it? And John is like, oh no, what have I done? And John does the worst thing ever, which is go against obviously a deranged person. Mm-hmm. So Chucky tells him, I need to get out of this body. Well, he says to him, I didn't think anybody could hurt me, but I got shot last night and it hurt like a son of a bitch and even bled. And John says, well, you're turning human. He's like, what? Well, how did I get out of this body? And he's like, I will not tell you, you are an abomination to the world. And it's like, no, this is when you lie. And be like, okay, well, what we need you to do is we need you to go into this bathtub and we're going to fill it up with water. And we're going to put these rocks on your legs. And you have to actually kill yourself so your spirit can raise up out and go into somebody else's body. Like,
did you just make that up?
I did. So why would you go against them? I hate when
they do that they do that in so many movies though. It's like
act like you're going with them.
The killer right here with the gun at your head. All right, tell me where your daughter is. I'm not telling you shit. Lie. She over there. She by a friend's house. She at her grandma's house.
She's in your upper lip. Anything. Like, you're right. Like, make something up. Like, oh, she is in a location in far deep in the woods. I have to take you to her. Because something. Like, make it up. But he does it. And Chucky was like, John, I have a feeling you do something like this. You should tell people where you hide your merchandise, John.
Why did he do that? Because my thing is,
I think
Chucky, again, fuck you. Again, if we're gonna just go over the lore of Chucky, he always been crazy. He's never been like charming or like he's never gotten people to like him based off his wit or his charm or his caring, compassionate behavior.
Mm-hmm. It's always been like this for him. Yes.
So my question is, you telling me you got so close to this man, even the way he acts, you just realized he was abomination? Like I'm just like
abomination.
He been killing people, he been strangling people, and now you just realize.
And then another thing, I think that would actually be so much smarter as a serial killer to just bounce from body to body. They'll never get you.
Yeah, I'm sure that's somebody's. That's gonna be somebody's new script. But
I think that was the movie. What was that movie? Was that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger with the devil? End of Days. They kept bouncing from body to body. I love that movie. I think that might be one we need to do. Never heard of that before in my life. Oh my god, I love End of Days. I love that movie.
Oh, no, Schwarzenegger.
He get to the chopper. So he has a voodoo doll made of John, and he's like, John, you got to tell me what's going on. And John's like, never. And he cracks his leg. And John, all you got to do is tell me. He cracks his arm, and then he's like, okay, I'll tell you.
No, he threatens to kill him, and then he tells him. Because he takes out his knife, and he's...
John, you knew you were going to die.
That's why I was like, what? You thought he was going to let you go?
Right. So, what's his name? John tells him that you have to transfer your soul back to the first human you revealed your true identity to. And Chucky becomes a perv, and he's like, I can't believe it. I just don't believe it. I'm going to be a 6-year-old boy again. Well,
that wasn't the pervy part. The pervy part was when he said, I got a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Oh, I got a date with a 6-year-old boy. That's what it was. Sorry.
I was like, but it's the 80s, so maybe, but I'm like, God, that line. And
he kills John. John is out of here. Well, he stabs John and he bounces up out of there. And Karen and Detective Norris arrive never in the nick of time.
Never. Just as he's dying, she tried to call the police. He like, no, bitch ain't no hope.
Well, no, the detective is calling the police while Karen is trying to ask, what can we do?
He said, I don't have later, you stupid bitch. So listen. He said, look, he was just saying words, like no complete sentences. He's like, child, transfer, chant, doll, heart. She like,
well, how do I kill him? How do I kill him?
His heart is going to be human. Like, just, sir, you're dying. You can make a complete sentence. Write it down. I don't know. He was pissing me off. Like,
Well, she tells him to shoot him in the heart, but Karen does not follow that. Later in the movie, we'll see.
Ma'am, it took 3 times. It took 3 separate attacks for her to tell him that. So
now Chucky is on his own.
Yeah,
Chucky is on his own.
Clearly, he been on his own. He been on his own since he ran into Mikey. So he going to get Andy ass. Now this part, I almost cut the movie off because it was about to get me triggered. He go for Andy ass. Now how he climbed up this window to get Andy, because Andy see Chucky coming. He like, help, Chucky, he gonna kill me, and he starts crying. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, it was. It's like, and it was a real
that was a real cry. I know how little kids really cry.
Kill me.
He was just in the corner like. I was like, oh,
but you know what? Andy wiped his eyes real fast and thought of a master plan.
Baby, Andy said, I ain't know. Andy said, you thought I was pussy?
He put them damn pillows underneath that comforter and went and hid. Chucky steals the keys from the desk because somehow the keys were just right there. Like, what happened to put them on your waist belt?
Because for this to be a child facility, ain't nobody there.
Right. I guess you don't really need. I guess they feel like they could overpower the kids or whatever. Blah 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 blah. So he goes into the room and he looks for Andy in the bed. Pow pow! Andy ain't there. And then Andy runs out of the room. I wish that baby would have locked it. I wish he would have closed the door behind him.
I said that in the office. I was like, Andy, lock the door. Because I saw him unlocking another door. So I was like, Andy, you got the keys. Why didn't you lock the door?
He was just moving too fast.
But then again, Chucky would have got out the window. I wasn't going to put too much on Andy.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. So they're running through the hospital.
The doctor sees him running as well. So he's chasing him.
He's telling him, Dr. Ardmore, please. He's here. He's here. Dr. Ardmore.
Yeah, because Chucky tackled his ass. I don't know how the fuck Chucky caught up with him. But Chucky tackled his ass. And so Andy grabbed a scalpel because he like, well, I'm about to get to business too, bitch. But of course the doctor come and he trying to sedate him. He about to give him his ass a shot. Chucky come and sedate his ass in the leg and then throw up on an electrocution machine. Which, why do you have this machine?
He had time to take that off his head.
Because his arms were his. It was his legs.
There was nothing wrong with his arms. I know. He had time to take that off.
He laid there and let that man electrocute.
Helmet.
And this is why they don't know. That's why they don't do this shit no more to kids. Because if you were doing this to my child and you could die from it, sir.
Right.
Sir.
Burnt him to a crisp. He was looking like that toast that Andy made earlier.
He was looking like Marv in Home Alone.
Or like Chucky later in this movie. This is crispy. This movie's very crispy.
Or like Tiffany and Bride of Chucky. We can.
John Mancini loves to burn a bitch. So the always late Karen and Detective Norris get to the hospital, and a little girl tells them that Chucky was there, and basically they deduce that Andy went home because Karen told him always go home if for help.
Yeah.
So this part lives with me
late.
For never there in the nick of time. Not always there when you call. Not always on time. The elevator scene. The infamous elevator scene. So we see these two old people, this old couple in the elevator, and Chucky's in there looking like he's looking a little worn for the world. I mean, he got blood on his outfit. He got burnt with the cigarette lighter on his cheek. Hair is woolly bully. He look a mess. And the woman's like, somebody left their doll in the elevator. And the guy was like, well, just leave it there. He'll come back for it. She goes to close the door. She's like, ugly doll. And then all of a sudden we hear,
fuck you. I was like, it's funny because I was like, wait, so I thought this was something that happened in later movies, but they've been calling that doll ugly for you.
Well, I mean, he was beat the hell up. I think that's the only thing. But that fuck you was amazing. The delivery. Delivery.
I want to take a sidestep because we're almost done. But I want to take a sidestep just because the Chucky series got canceled. Tomato. Did you look at his hair in this movie? Because remember how when the Chucky series had first came out and everybody was like, oh, Chucky is laid. And I was like, hey, didn't his hair always look like that?
I think his hair was a little thicker. He looked like he got a little mane and tail.
Okay, because I'm like, I thought the good guy dolls always had that nice looking hair, but maybe Maybe it got longer or something. I don't know. But
It looked like Batman from Immature in the later years.
Okay, that's enough.
We got it.
So yeah, Chucky. So Andy makes it to the house. Andy gets to work. He push up that rug. He start boarding up the door.
He can do all that he can. He's such a baby.
Yeah, he trying, baby, but he don't try hard enough. Because baby, when I tell you Chucky managed to get in that damn house anyway, I just
so Chucky goes up the elevator to their floor, but then shimmies down through the fire escape. Do the fire? What's it called? Fireplace. Huh?
Yeah, the fireplace.
Okay. But why did he go up the elevator?
Well, I guess he went to the door to be locked. Floor. Yeah, or maybe he didn't expect the door to be locked. Oh, I don't know.
How did he know? What if he shimmied down in somebody else's fireplace and was like, shit, you know?
I'm gonna assume that because he's been killing for years, he knows what he's doing. So we're gonna let Chucky have that one. But yeah, he get up in there and he Andy ass out.
Batter up.
And so yeah, Andy is down for the count, and now it's time to start the chant. Now they're headed home. I don't know how far the facility is from home, but damn it if they don't make it.
How long ago did Andy run home? Because he ran home. They're in a car. They just so happened to make it in the nick of time. Just this one time. Right, because
he was almost done. And now I'm going to say it. This is not the same chant. He was talking about Santeria and all kinds of stuff. I have never heard this chant before. I was like, wait a minute, Santeria? That's not voodoo. That's hoodoo. What are you doing? I was like.
I mean, he said the gree worked.
I was just very.
He was speaking French. There was a lot of French words that he was saying.
But Santeria is Latin-based voodoo. Like, so I was like, well, pay attention to them words next time you watch this movie. I'm telling you, because I was like,
when I turned on the closed caption, it just said chant. I watched it on Tubi. You know why? Because Peacock said I had to pay to see.
Seriously?
It. Yeah, I did
that because the show got canceled.
I don't pay for that.
They did that because I'm telling you, those movies, that movies and the TV show, they were all there on Peacock. They did that just because it got canceled.
Yeah, so that's why I watched it on Tubi. But Chucky, so Detective Norris and Karen run in the house. They get in there, and Karen picks up Chucky while he's doing the chant. You know, obviously he can't finish.
And then Detective Norris again.
Bites her all in the neck, give her hickeys and stuff like he a vampire. Detective Norris picks him up, and instead of throwing him out the window, he just throws him across the room. I'm like, come on. But anywho, Chucky runs up, stabs him in the leg because he just threw him across the room. Mm-hmm. And Mike is down for the count, and he ends up giving Karen his gun. It's like, here, you gotta do what you gotta do because I'm out the picture now. I got stabbed in the leg one time, even though I've been in a car wreck and an explosion, and I was fine with those two. But you stabbed me in the leg, I'm out of here.
See what I said? Now you and Jay owe me an apology.
He gets up. No, because he gets up to go investigate. He goes to find him. He does.
Stabs don't hurt. Look, them stabs.
He gets up to go find him. Hush. But Chucky doesn't want you, Detective Mike Norris. He wants Andy. So Karen and Andy are basically being attacked by him, and they're able to get the upper hand by, pushing him into the fireplace. Mm-hmm. And
Andy gets his iconic line of the movie.
Chucky tries to turn off the scare, and he's like, Andy, we're friends to the end. And Andy
tells him, this is the end, friend. He waited his whole life for that line.
No emotion or anything, and they light Chucky on fire. But didn't John tell you to you got to get him in a
That's the first time they disobeyed.
He say nothing about lighting them on fire. But Chucky rolls out. He's like, rah, 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 rah.
Again, great effects.
Ruined me when I was a kid.
He is burnt to a crisp. So he's just laying there. They're like, oh, God, Chucky's dead. They go in there. She's like, Andy, go get it.
He tells, just real quick, he tells John that I got shot. It hurt like a son of a bitch. I can only imagine how getting burned alive felt.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, we're supposed to believe this hurt you too, and you're still a girl. He was just angry. He was just too fucking angry.
Yeah, he was just pissed. I think Chucky's when he's pissed, he just don't stop.
He's fueled by rage.
Yes. So Karen's like, go get the first aid kit. We got to get his leg together. I'm like, what you got in the first aid kit to help a gunshot wound, girl? Don't piss me off. Andy go look for the this. Now see, this is the only part besides the cereal and the toast where Andy pissed me off.
Oh,
He
yeah.
get the first aid kit. He see Chucky gone. Here he go. Mommy, why are you whispering? Why are you?
Mommy.
And then he keeps saying it just like that. Like he just very, Mommy, sir, the time for whispering is over. You're supposed to scream, help, death. Like I just say, baby. Because here comes Chucky.
Chucky's on him.
He burnt to a crisp. His teeth. He just looked so unflattering for a dog.
He's like gooey. He's like crispity, crunchity, peanut butter crisp.
Coon.
What?
Crispity, crackety, crunchity coon. So
like at this point, so Karen is running from Chucky, you know, and he's stabbing the doors, trying to pull open the door to the bathrooms.
Did this remind you of The Shining?
Yes. He actually gets her in the hand, and I'm like, Karen, when do we stop hiding and start fighting?
Baby, didn't you have a gun 5 seconds ago?
Why aren't we grabbing the comforter and throwing it over Chucky? You know, discombobulate him, kick him.
Because I understand he's tiny and quick and he has a knife, but y'all are big adults and you have fire pokers in your house. Like I saw so many weapons that she just was like, I ain't gonna use it. So
never bring a knife to a gunfight. Didn't they tell you that?
Well, she does get her gun and she slowly starts to blow him up. So first she knock his head off. He's still walking. So she like, well, let me get his leg. He start crawling. So she get his arm, but his knife is in the other arm.
He starts doing the Thriller.
We're gonna get trademarked for that one. So what? So
it's time to stomp him out.
Well, by the time she tried to go shoot him again, and here come Jack. That's what you said his name was. I didn't write down his name because fuck him.
No. She shot him twice in the back. Then she goes back in there to go help Detective Mike.
But no, remember Jack came up.
She shoots him twice in the back, and then Jack pops in.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, don't shoot me!" And so he like, "What's going on? What's going on?" So they go up in there. The detective confirms everything. He's like, "What happened to you?" He's like, "Look, the doll's alive. Don't touch it. You know, call help. Call help. Call help." Mm-hmm. He has to be an asshole because that's. Do you know this is just like the cop in Scream 3? Their partners of the detectives are always assholes and they never die. So he goes right. They're always like the cynical jerks, but they never die. Mm-hmm. And so he goes and grabs the head of the doll that he just told him not to touch. And he puts it on the desk and he's just like, "You telling me this thing is alive?" He poking it and doing all this. He's like, "I told you not to touch it." He's like, "Come on, man. Who's going to believe this, man? You know, we're in Chicago, man. We put peppermints in our pickles, man." So he's standing next to a vent. I don't know how Chucky got in this vent. I don't know how he crawled into the vent to get into another room. But bam, here comes Chucky. And here Chucky on the desk. "Strangle him. Kill him. Choke him. Don't stop. Kill him."
And it was at this part where I bring up my famous line. This doll does not have the power to kill you guys. Mm-hmm. Keep him alive. Mm-hmm. Keep him alive. Keep him alive. But no, they shoot him in the heart.
Yeah. They shoot him. Well,
and he smacks him against the wall.
Yeah. They shoot him quite a couple times before she says, very calmly, by the way, "Shoot him in the heart." Like, thanks, ma'am. That would have been great knowledge since you're the only one who heard him say that. You're the only one who heard John say that, and you just held it in until now. And so they finally kill Chucky, and he, his voice fades away, and he eventually starts to sound like the doll again, and he's
"Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?"
And he's like, "All right, I believe you. Now who's gonna believe us?" Well, nobody, because y'all killed the fucking doll.
Yes, everybody would if you would have left him alive. So they all go out to leave, and Andy looks back at Chucky, and we get a freeze frame, and he's ruined. His life is ruined.
Yeah, life is literally over, as we see from the Chucky series. So, wow.
That will do it for 1988's Child's Play. For me, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. Again, the second one is my all-time favorite, and it's because we get Chucky front and center. And that's what I love the most about that one. Here we had to play a little roulette. Like, we don't get Chucky coming alive till like 50 minutes into the movie, Mm-hmm. Special effects were great. There were times I definitely noticed there was a little person in the outfit instead of Chucky. And there's times when he's in the fireplace and he's pulling against the door. You can see the contraption that the doll is attached to moving back and forth, pushing the doll. If you go back and watch it, you'll see what I'm saying.
Shit.
So you can see all that stuff now. But traumatized me as a kid, but turned out to be one of my favorites. I enjoyed it. It is a double, triple recommend for me. Definitely go watch it.
I have to agree. This was a great movie, so I'm gonna give it a 9. Like it was just it. Like watching it back in 2024 with 2024 eyes, I was still like, damn. So yeah, we're gonna give it a 9. It was great. I would encourage everyone to watch the whole series. I'm not the biggest fan of Seed of Chucky. I'm not the biggest fan of Cult of Chucky, but even just the series is great. Like I love Don Mancini. I love the fact that he's a gay man and he created this doll murder franchise as a way to kind of, I love the way he put so much into that you wouldn't have noticed, but it just, I love it. So yeah, really mad that Renew Chucky did not become a thing.
I feel like it went a little, I think that in season 3 the president, we didn't need those kids anymore. We didn't need Lexi, Evan or Devin and Jake. Yeah. We could have wrote them out like the first couple of episodes. And they could have just kept on with the president's family and went crazy over there.
Because I thought season 3 was, and when I say better than season 2, I just mean I feel like season 2 was very heavy on the camp. Like when they had Chucky on the talk show with like, was she a porn star or something? And he kills her. Like I just feel like it was very camp, very like it was just in your face with the camp. And I feel like season 3 got more to the horror aspect. It kind of like, especially that chandelier death scene. Oh my, c'est magnifique. I just hate, like we've talked about this before. I hate that season 3 ended on such a cliffhanger with the kids being dolls now, and we don't get an end to that. But Don does say Chucky doesn't, so maybe he'll make a movie wrapping it up. I feel like I feel like he loves those kids and he won't just end it like that. I feel like he'll throw out a movie for us. So pray.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Well, all right, guys, that will do it for 1988's Chucky. Please be sure to catch up with us in 2 weeks. We're taking, just a little vacay. Gotta get some sun, some tanning, and some waves, and some margaritas. I'm gonna go get me my motherfucking tie.
My motherfucking tie.
And we will join back with us when we review Scream 5. Might as well keep the party going. Look, we only have one more after that, and we're done with
right. So will Jay be in attendance for this one too?
No, we will not have Jay in attendance, but maybe we can get him on for Scream 6, and we can just wrap it all up.
See, I feel like Scream 5 was his favorite.
That's funny. So he's on all the even ones, 2, 4, and 6. Yeah, so
because I was like, okay.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. So, bitch, it's October.
Yeah, it's time to start.
We love it here. We love it here. All right, we don't like pumpkin spice, but we love it here.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
All right, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Where did you hide it, Dan?